Welcome to KiniNews. I'm your host, Kimilia. Tajuddin Abdul Rahman had a press conference today where he called on Zahid Hamidi to step down as Umno president. The press conference came following his removal as an Umno Supreme Council member. Former Umno Supreme Council member Tajuddin Abdul Rahman has called on Ahmad Zahid Hamidi to step down as Umno president. At a press conference in Kuala Lumpur today, Tajuddin said that Zahid has become a liability for the party and could risk their chances of winning in the next general elections.
Saya kata Zahid Hamidi ni sudah jadi liability kepada UMNO. Dia tak boleh jadi presiden. Jadi presiden dan mengepalai UMNO dalam pilihan raya, kita akan kalah. Ya? Tanyalah orang awam, tanyalah profesional, tanyalah pengundi-pengundi. Orang UMNO pun tanyalah, tapi ramai yang tak berani bercakap. Kan?
Tajuddin added that Zahid is facing many criminal charges in court and should focus on defending himself. In his press conference today, Tajuddin also brought up Zahid's often repeated mantra about not working with DAP and Anwar. He claimed that it was all lies.
Memang ada SD design nak menyokong Anwar sebagai Perdana Menteri. Surat ditulis kepada istana, memang ada. Saya pun digesa-gesa. Saya tak nak, saya kata saya tak nak. Kan? Tapi, last sekali, dah sampai nak bermasa muka apa itu gini, saya sign jugalah. Ni, sign. Macam mana kita tak ada? I'm a living witness. Saksi hidup.
Tajuddin's claims came following his removal from the Umno Supreme Council. Previously, when quizzed on the matter, Zahid had refused to explain why he decided to remove Tajuddin. He said it was not fair to make it public and Tajuddin knew what he has been doing to the party. Still on the topic of Tajuddin, an UMNO leader has come out to defend Zahid over his decision to remove Tajuddin from the Supreme Council.
Umno Supreme Council member Muhammad Zakashi has dismissed Ketere MP Anwar Musa's remarks that Tajuddin Abdul Rahman's removal from the council could trigger a crisis in the party. In a statement today, Puat said that replacing an appointee is a normal process and many people have been removed from the council before. He said that Tajuddin was appointed as a member of the council and he could be replaced by party president Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Puat pointed out that Anwar himself was removed as information chief, and it also happened to Ahmad Maslan and Shamsul Anwar Nasara. But there was no crisis in the party then. Puat added that a crisis can only happen when someone is inciting it, and Anwar was trying to incite others by claiming that the sacking can trigger a crisis. He said when someone goes against the party's decision, it is right for them to be removed and sacked. Tajuddin was co-opted into the Umno Supreme Council in 2018. He was removed from the position on June 21st by Zahid. Commenting on the incident, Anwar claimed that the move could cause a split in the party. He claimed that although the party president has sole prerogative in deciding on appointments, removals are extremely rare.
PKR Deputy President-elect Rafizi Ramli has hit back at Zahid over his formula's two problems, saying that UMNO does not have better ideas on how to address issues faced by the public. PKR Deputy President-elect Rafizi Ramli has responded to UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi over the dismissal of his formulas. In a statement today, Rafizi said that the UMNO leadership is scrambling to dismiss and bury his formulas because they do not have better ideas on how to address issues. He said the more they try to make fun of his ideas and formulas, the more obvious it is that they are afraid of his approach. According to Rafizi, they are worried that if Malaysian politics revolve around ideas and not sentiments of race, religion, and who is in power, then they will be rejected by the Rakyat, as what had happened in the 14th general election. He said that this was among the reasons for UMNO's downfall in GE14, as they could not defend its own policies that added to the Rakyat's burden at the time, such as subsidy cuts and the introduction of GST. Rafizi said this after Zahid slammed him for labeling UMNO's proposal of a national poultry board to cope with the rising price of chicken as a joke. Zahid had said that people want solutions to their problems and do not care about Rafizi's formulas. This came after Rafizi had questioned if UMNO's solution was to set up a board for every animal, adding that the ruling coalition will likely end up appointing politicians to head the boards, and taxpayers will have to foot their salaries and allowances. Anwar Ibrahim has disputed the reasons given by several UMNO leaders on why Parliament should be dissolved.
PKR President Anwar Ibrahim said that certain leaders are pushing for Parliament to be dissolved and for early elections to evade ongoing cases. He told reporters this after a meeting with PKR members in Rawang yesterday. According to Anwar, the court cluster wants to settle their cases, and if they win the 15th general election, they can close their cases. He added this was the reason why the opposition disputed the reason given for the proposed dissolution. However, Anwar said Harapan is ready to face GE15 if Parliament is dissolved soon. He said the opposition coalition is ready as the response from the public has been very good. Anwar's remarks came after some leaders, primarily from UMNO, insisted on dissolving Parliament to make way for the GE15. Previously, UMNO leaders had said they were ready to wait for the election after the Memorandum of Understanding between the government and Pakatan Harapan expires on July 31st. Among the leaders who continue to put pressure on Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob to dissolve Parliament are UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak. Both leaders are currently facing court cases and are often labelled as the court cluster.
A Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court judge reprimanded Lim Guan Eng today over his media statement linked to his ongoing corruption trial.
Former Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng was reprimanded in court today over his media statement linked to his ongoing corruption trial involving the island's 6.3 billion ringgit undersea tunnel project. Sessions Court Judge Azura Alwi expressed a disappointment with Lim's statement issued on Friday last week. Azura said this in response to Lim's statement where he described court testimony alleging that he received bribes as untrue and imaginary. This is after a witness in his corruption trial claimed that Lim seemed happy to receive 200,000 ringgit in bribes in relation to the undersea tunnel project. The judge warned Lim over the statement, saying that she hoped it will not happen again and the matter is not taken lightly, as the case was still ongoing. Azura added that this is not the first time they are facing court trials and it was not something new. Lim's counsel Gobind Singh Dio then stood up and apologized to the court. Earlier in proceedings this morning, Deputy Public Prosecutor Wan Shaharuddin Wan Ladin had applied to censure Lim over his public statement linked to the trial.
Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's outfit was back in the limelight yesterday after he was spotted wearing another Burberry shirt.
Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fadzil has panned what he claimed was Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob's penchant for expensive garments at a time when many ordinary Malaysians are struggling to make ends meet. This was after Ismail Sabri was spotted in what appeared to be a Burberry shirt, which was listed on its website at 6,900 ringgit. Fahmi told Malaysia Kini that at a time when more and more people are suffering due to the rising cost of goods, the PM should not be seen to be isolated from the rakyat's reality. Fahmi added that expensive fashion should not be the go-to choice, and Ismail Sabri could use the opportunity and visibility of his position to highlight the work of local designers. Last month, Ismail Sabri was also panned on social media for wearing an expensive shirt during a meeting with his Singapore counterpart in Tokyo, Japan. That black, blue and white shirt was also from Burberry and listed as costing 5,500 ringgit. Meanwhile, UMNO Padang Rengas MP Nasri Abdul Aziz defended Ismail Sabri, stating that the expensive clothing was not unusual as the Prime Minister is often gifted such items. According to Astra Awani, Nasri said that based on his experience as a former minister, many people give the Prime Minister clothing and other branded and expensive items. He added that he was confident that the people do not care about the price of the Prime Minister's clothing because Ismail Sabri is focused on efforts to reduce the rakyat's burden due to the rising cost of living.
Next, we have an update on the latest COVID-19 numbers. The Health Ministry reported 2,003 new COVID-19 cases and 1 death yesterday. Selangor had the highest number of cases with 690, followed by Kuala Lumpur with 517. Penang recorded 179 cases, Sabah had 113 and Perak recorded 101 new cases. Meanwhile, Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said Malaysia saw a 10.9% increase in cases for the 25th epidemiology week, which began on June 19 to 25th. The number of recovered cases for that week also showed a rise of 33.8%, from around 10,500 cases to 14,000 cases. He added that the number of deaths showed a 38.1% drop, with 13 cases compared to 21 cases in the previous week. Since the start of the pandemic in March 2020, a total of 35,746 deaths have been attributed to COVID-19. There have been 70 reported COVID-19 deaths this month. For a comparison, there were 129 deaths last month and 564 deaths in April. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.